You're listening to the Best Advice Podcast, guys. If you haven't already, give us a 5-star review and help spread the word. And if you have a question for the guys, email a voice recording to podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com. That's podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com.
Welcome back to Best Advice Podcast, guys. I'm your host, Rob Lovaglio, here as always with Dave Allen, Frank Loaglio, and Mitch. Gentlemen, what's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack a what?
I'm telling you, I like that tagline that he's brought up.
I do.
It's a nice tagline, Ron.
And I looked up crack-a-lackin' in Google. It had no definition, and that's what we like.
It's a good way to start the show.
It is. It gets me fired up.
Where did that come from, crack-a-lackin'?
No idea. Don't really know. I have no idea.
What do your pals say?
AAU basketball days, I think.
Basketball again.
Yeah.
And that's what his knee sounded
Am I
like.
crack-a-lackin'?
Crack-a-lackin'.
Someone bigger and faster. Right?
Plenty of those out there.
So as we discussed last week, we're going to start off our shows with the powerful practice of positive thinking, which we call Give Me Something Good. In this segment, our hosts take turns sharing unique motivational concepts aimed to ignite a positive ripple effect that brightens your day and the lives of everyone around you. And today I'm excited to say it's my turn. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I got something really good for you guys today.
All right, with that, Rob, well, give me something good.
So most people don't know this. We all have this brain structure. It's called the anterior mid-singulate cortex. When people do anything, now this is the important part, that they don't want to do, this brain area gets bigger. Here it gets especially interesting. The anterior mid-singulate cortex is smaller in obese people. It grows when they diet. It's larger in athletes. It's especially large or grows larger in people who see themselves as challenged or have overcome the challenge. And in people that live a very long time, this area keeps its size. Scientists are now seeing the anterior mid-singulate cortex as not just the seat of willpower, but perhaps actually the seat of the will to live. Wow, that blew my mind. And all the data points to the fact that we can build this up, but that as quickly as we build this up, if we don't continue to invest in things that are hard for us, things we do not want to do. Like if you love the ice bath, woohoo, I love the ice bath. Like if you ice bath every morning and you go from 3 minutes and increase it to 5 minutes, guess what? Your anterior mid-singulate cortex won't grow. But if you hate the ice bath, if you're scared of drowning or scared of the cold, and you get into the ice bath and you power through it, guess what? The anterior mid-singulate cortex gets bigger. Now, if you don't do it the next day, or if you do it and you like it now because your body's used to it and you enjoy it, guess what? The anterior mid-singulate cortex shrinks again. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that we don't get old, really. We just stop doing things. I hate when people are like, oh, my back hurts because I'm getting old. It's like, no. Your back hurts because you stopped walking or you stopped jogging. We got to continue to invest in bettering ourselves and continue to invest things that we don't want to do that we know is improving us day to day. Today's question comes from Clint from Gainesville, Florida. Clint, what you got for us?
You want to say something?
Hey guys, want to get your professional analysis on Trump's media company, Truth Social. Came out of the gate really strong and then lost in the days following. Just curious why the stock was so volatile so early. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
All right. So there's been a lot of questions about Trump's new company. Again, let's keep it with the experts. Dad, you want to start us off?
Just to give you background, who is this? So Donald Trump, it goes by the symbol DJT, which is probably a shocker that he got a nice name in there. This is not political. We are not talking politics in no way. We're just talking about the stock. We've had a lot of calls coming in last week. The stock went public last week. To give you a history of kind of how they brought it out, Trump's company unlocked $300 million in investor funds when it finalized a merger deal with Digital World Acquisition, DWA, and they're a SPAC. This is a whole nother show is on SPAC, special acquisition companies. They're basically a company that helps you go public. So they basically raised $300 million. Company went public. There's a little bit of concern, again, the question from our caller is, what do you guys think as pros? Well, there's a lot of mixed feelings. It's very early. Some institutional investors, the big institutional money is saying, well, let's wait and see. A couple of things I read yesterday in preparation for the show were, hey, is it a meme stock? And remember back when COVID hit, it feels like it's been a while ago, but 2020, March to, it took a couple of years, but really summer of 20, all of a sudden AMC and GameStop were getting these huge run-ups. And I think it was the retail investor trying to punish the institutional investor, and they called those meme stocks because they really didn't necessarily have a lot of fundamental value, but they had some emotional value.
Right. That is the definition of a meme stock, is that emotional value. And it's a good point you bring up, Frank. If we take a look at AMC and GameStop, for example, let's just take a look at GameStop over the past 6 months. It's down 22.09%. And year to date, while we've had one of the best first quarters, according to Yahoo Finance, GameStop is down 28.07%. And AMC, the theaters, they really got pushed up as a meme stock. Yeah. They really got hit hard. Over the past 6 months, AMC is down 61.47%. And year to date, it's down 48.6%.
So they've gotten punished.
They've gotten punished.
So the hype, remember the hype on that the hype of the whole thing, again, I think was, when you really read about it, was to kind of punish the institutional investor. Like, hey, watch this. If millions of people buy 3 shares, that can drive a stock price up. It was crazy.
And had that Reddit company,
right,
that a lot of the young people would, dive into.
Right.
Somebody would hype a stock, everybody would jump on
in,
board and drive it up. It was very strange. That's something,
exactly.
us guys in the financial planning world
took everybody by surprise.
But
to that point, I wanted to bring something up. I'm going to turn over some more facts to you guys. You brought up Reddit. Highest traffic on Truth Social website, on Trump's site. At the very high, the day after it went public, this was late last week, 277,000 viewers. Reddit, which you just mentioned, Dave, appropriately, on that same day, I think it was Thursday of last week, 32 million visitors on Reddit. Right. 277,000. Not beating up the stock. I'm just saying, wow, that's a big differential. So I think there'll be some hurdles there, to see how that company does.
Well, and to your point on that, the traffic wasn't there, and that stock right now over the last 5 days since it's been open. No, this would be Trump stock.
Oh, yeah.
Having low volume,
right,
low people looking at
right,
it, was down 31.13% over the last 5 days. But yesterday, which was April 1st, it was down it was down 21.47% in 1 day.
Yeah.
And you can just see the traffic.
Yeah.
Because to your point, in 24, Reddit right now, with all those hits, happens to be up 48.35%.
They just went public, what? Yeah.
Last month. So in a month, March 21st, actually, they're up 48.35%. Wow. But I do want to clarify, this is information from IPO performance from the NASDAQ.
Okay.
And remember, stocks can go up and down. We're not guaranteeing anything.
Sure.
We're just past performance. We just are pointing these facts out.
That's right.
So
in an IPO
it.
like that, in a short period of time, you could have 48% up, and then you could see, like yesterday, what did it drop?
22%.
They came out with $58 million worth of losses disclosed in 23, and everybody's like, wait a minute, I bought that? Sell. Still doesn't mean anything. Something else, hype could come up, and it could go back up. So no, it's not for the weak. Like, for example, everybody knows Facebook, now Meta.
Right.
That went out in May, became an IPO in May of 2012. And what happened there was, I remember it came out at $34 around, $34 a share. And then quickly dropped to 18.
Some people got scared and sold it, right?
Exactly. They got out and they sold it. And guess what? Within a short period of time, today it's $491.
So think about if you just hung in there or bought more when it went down.
But the difference is that's a company with substance.
And
they had
tremendous
earnings. They had real
advertising.
earnings. Yeah, real
earnings. And we've known now what social media has turned into.
Right.
Social media is everywhere, and they're selling tremendous amounts of advertising. They've also tied together their Instagram. So there's a lot of money when it became Meta.
Their games and the whole bit.
Exactly.
And now Reels, because they started to drop TikTok, and they came out with Reels.
That's right.
So Reels has really pushed them back up. So
Now, TikTok's got some challenges now.
they have a
too.
lot of TikToks.
There's some legal challenges.
The Chinese.
But I want
trying
to pull
ban
people
them.
back too as well as as financial advisors at Security Financial Management. We love to talk about, and it's interesting to listen to a stock going public. Even Rivian, Rivian came out on fire. They went public in the last couple of years, and they've gotten beat up pretty good. Their last earnings report was really ugly. It's a great truck. The big headlights are cool. I like them a lot. I looked at them. It's just wow. They're proud of themselves. But I want to bring back that Dave, Frank, and Mitch in Security Financial Management. We we pick institutional managers to run the money. So don't think because we're talking about Nib Davidian and we're talking about Trump Social and DJT and all that. Those are interesting topics, but typically we'll hold some of those stocks in an institutional portfolio. We're not picking stocks, so just want to make sure you guys understand that's not what we're doing for a living. That's just interesting topics. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I don't think probably at this point too many of our institutional managers, the
Too
ETFs,
early.
have really grabbed it yet.
No.
It's not time.
Well,
for them.
Meta, Nvidia, all those they've grabbed big.
Oh,
Just
well,
not-
absolutely.
Well, they've been out 12 years now,
Right.
so
Yeah, there's a little
with
time
a lot of
there.
history.
That's right.
There's a lot of the IPO is way over on that, but yeah, to your point, Frank, and to Dave, we learn about these stocks, the meme stocks, and the IPOs because people want to know about them.
Right.
But again, that is not our main focus, but we do educate ourselves on it.
Absolutely.
Because we need to know the whole financial market to help people when they ask us questions.
That's right.
But that is not our focus. And Security Financial Management is more on the investment advice side, the wealth planning,
Right.
and your entire planning of your whole financial situation, not what's the hottest stock. Just to go back, in 2024 so far, and here we are April 2nd,
Wow.
there have been 18 IPOs this year.
Oh, wow.
And out of those 18 IPOs, 10 of them have lost money already. And I'm only talking in 3 months, 10 of them are down and down pretty big. There's 8 of them that are up, and that's it. So you can see how volatile they can be and where they can be all over the map. So
A lot of
again,
times it's good to just sit back and watch it for a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, you're not gonna, if you're
You
a
might
long,
miss something, but
yeah.
you also might not.
And if you're a long-term investor and you figure out what it's going to look like, if it works out and you think it's going to be okay, you're not going to lose out on a lot. Like to your point earlier, Dave, Facebook was about $34,
Yeah.
and now it's over 400 and
Right.
something
Almost
dollars.
500, yeah.
Yeah, so if you waited a year or two and wow, you jumped in at 60, and now it's over 400.
Yeah.
You didn't
You
do
still-
that
you
badly,
still
did
did
you?
pretty
good.
You did pretty well. You
So
did
really,
pretty
to
well.
summarize that piece, the caller is, hey, what do you do as professionals? I think what I'm hearing from my peers and my professional partners is maybe look at it a little bit. I mean, if someone, again, called in and said, hey, I know you're institutional and investing my money, but I just want to buy a sliver for a grandkid in their account. I think and we'll weigh in with my partners, but my gut is telling me, based on it coming out, there's not, again, 277,000 viewers. The facts, to me, are not lining up. If it's my grandchild, which I have two and one on the way, by the way, I probably wouldn't put it in their kiddie fund just because I kind of want to wait and see, is my opinion. What do you think, Mitch?
I agree. Again, I'm more on the conservative side and not chasing the newest hot stock.
Right.
Because you could get burned that way, and just wait and see.
Yeah.
Because
What do you think, Dave?
I think
Anything to
if
add?
somebody wants to play with it a little bit, take a small amount. And it's something that won't hurt you. Because it could win or could lose.
Sure.
In a
No one
sense,
knows.
it's a
Nobody
little bit
knows.
like taking those dice and going like, ooh,
Yeah.
you might win, you might not, but don't bet the farm on it.
Yeah,
Right.
make
Don't
an
bet the
amount make an amount you're comfortable losing.
The whole
Exactly.
thing's strange, really, because it looks like just all the Trump supporters just are going to support Trump regardless of what that means. That means throwing money into a stock
Sure.
that has no real backbone yet.
That's
And
the emotional stuff we're
the
talking about.
emotional.
Right, that's
yeah.
emotional.
That's not the non-fundamental side. And I agree with people that like Trump are going to follow him because they're going to follow who they like.
As always, we're going to close out this show with a minute with Mitch.
1 minute with Mitch.
Thank you, Rob. And I'll keep it to a minute. We'll keep it short today. It has to do with the bond market. The bond market is a little skittish right now, and that has caused the equity market to see a lot of volatility yesterday. The Dow losing over 200 points. And the futures this morning are not looking very exciting. But with that said, the 3-month T-bill has gone up. It's now 5.35%. If you remember over the past few weeks, that has been coming down. And the 6-month T-bill is back up again to 5.30, and the 10-year is down to, or it's actually up. It's up to 4.39, so that is growing. Now, we still have that inverted yield curve, and when you have an inverted yield curve, which we're now almost 3 years, it started in August of 2021, that is usually a sign of a recession coming. And so far we haven't had it, and it looked like we're not going to have anything, but this morning, again, April 2nd, there's some talk that it's possible again.
Oh, here we go.
So we're going to have to sit and watch,
Again.
and the bond market is reacting that way.
So the issue is...
What are they spooked about this morning?
Well, they're spooked
still
about...
inflation. It's always inflation.
Well, they're spooked that the numbers are still coming out good.
Hot. Yeah,
They're
too
coming
good.
out hot again.
Oh, I'm sorry, things are good, guys.
Yeah, things are good.
I'm
That's
sorry,
bad.
it's good.
Which makes no
Good is
sense.
bad.
It
Good
can't
is
be
bad.
good.
You're right. Manufacturing
That's right,
numbers were
manufacturing was
good.
up, yeah.
Consumer spending was up.
What a resilient consumer is such a resilient
They're so
beast.
resilient, and people, no, it doesn't make sense this time.
Yeah.
As bad as we hear things are, everything else is up.
Yeah.
The numbers are still good.
But it's so confusing, Mitch. It's like, and Dave, things are good, so you know what? Manufacturing's up, activity's up. That's bad.
I know.
Because it's bad because they may not reduce rates, and if they don't reduce rates, then the stock market doesn't like that. So it's like, we're praying for bad. Is that where we are?
Pretty much right now. I think about a couple of days ago, it was, believe it or not, up to about a 75% chance of a June cut. Today it's now 58%.
It's going down.
It's going down because these numbers are coming out too well.
Chris has also got a 98% chance of winning March Madness.
Who does?
Oh, Chris.
Yes, Chris in our office.
That's right.
It's about as,
our
it's
office
about
guy.
as relevant.
I was thinking, what university is that? Chris what?
Chris, March Madness 2024.
That's a fun topic.
I like
That's
it.
I think the market's going to react to that.
I hope in a good, positive way, and we finally get things squared away. But anyway, we'll wrap it up there. But again, we're still watching the bonds because the bonds are starting to move a little, and it's having a little negative reflection on the equity market. But we have to be careful and watch it. Like always, you don't know where that equity market's going to go. As Dave pointed out earlier, don't go heavy on one thing. It's asset allocation,
Diversification.
it's planning, it's diversification.
So that's what we believe in, and those are good fundamentals in financial planning.
2.5 minutes with Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch. Remember, everyone, the secret to success is not what you earn, it's what you keep. Happy days, everybody.
This podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only and is not intended as personal financial advice. Before making any financial decision, please do your own research and consult a financial advisor as needed. If you have a question for the guys, email podcast@bestadvicepodcastguys.com.